Hello fellow adventure seekers. I woke up this morning to what could be some pretty troubling news in the world of Tiffin. For those of you who follow the motorhome industry, especially those of you who are fellow Tiffin owners, like Shelly and I, you know that Thor bought out Tiffin today. So what does that mean to us? What does that mean for the future of Tiffin? Facebook is already full of theories, conjectures, gnashing of teeth, wringing of hands, so on and so forth. So I just wanted to put together this video to go over what exactly it means by Thor now owning not just Tiffin, but all of the Tiffin companies as well. And this is what it means. From the official press release, Bob Tiffin and all the senior management are still in place. They're going to be running it as a standalone company. Now that's very similar to how the announcement last year of Winnebago purchasing Newmar. So far I haven't heard any complaints about Newmar in the Winnebago acquisition. So as far as Tiffin and Thor goes, a lot of people are worried because, well, Thor doesn't have the best reputation in the world when it comes to quality in their builds. And people are afraid that that will translate eventually down to Tiffin. And that's possible. Or, what else is possible is the high quality standards and customer service that Tiffin is known for will filter up through the other Thor brands. While that may not be the likely scenario, it is definitely a possible scenario, and it's happened many times throughout corporate America, at least, where a smaller company had the bigger influence over the larger company that bought them out due to the way they did business. And a lot of times a larger company will buy a smaller company just so they can get that business acumen that the smaller company has. So it's not necessarily a bad thing. One thing I want to caution everybody about right now, obviously, because this announcement's only a few hours old as I'm filming this, nothing is set in stone. Nobody knows what's going to happen. I've already seen people posting, well, I guess we got to go to Elkhart, Indiana now to get work done on our Tiffins. No. Nothing's been said about closing down the Tiffin factory in Red Bay, Alabama. And actually, from a business standpoint, that would be disastrous at this point, because you're talking about moving an entire product line from one location to another, spinning up the assembly line for these very different coaches, and getting them out the door in a time where we have COVID restricting a lot of activities, and also the RV industry is in a huge seller's market, and there's a huge backlog of RV sales. I read an article a couple of weeks ago that the RV industry is like years behind in specific models, more so than others, of getting RVs out. Some people are waiting up to we'll have to wait up to 2 years to get the RV they're purchasing today. So closing down an assembly plant that's up and running and functioning does not make good business sense right now. Now, does that mean in the future that Tiffin could possibly move? Absolutely. Anything is possible. It also means that other product lines could actually move down to Red Bay, Alabama. Anything's possible. So what I want to caution people with this video is do not stress about it. Business acquisitions happen all the time. As a matter of fact, the company I work for was just bought out by another company last week. So I'm going through that transition right now, and I've gone through it before with other companies I work for that have gotten bought out. And sometimes it was better, sometimes it wasn't better. It just depends on the management philosophy and the vision and goals of the company. So I know a lot of people think, well, Thor's vision and goals is just to make money and don't put out a good product. Well, I don't think that's anybody's real vision or goal. But you have to draw the line somewhere between profit and quality. And there is a fine line there somewhere where you can have the highest quality, but you're going to have the lowest profit. But if you have too low of a quality, your profit margin may be very high, but you're not selling enough units to really make it worthwhile. So you've got to find that happy balance. And I think that's what Thor, along with every other manufacturing company, they try to do. Some do a better job than others. One thing I will tell you is, if you believe what you hear on the internet, every RV manufacturer is horrible, and all the quality are going downhill on all of them. But let me caution you again on that. With anything you read on social media, you're just reading the negatives. I don't know the numbers off the top of my head, but let's just say Tiffin produces 100,000 coaches a year across all their product lines, the Van Lee fifth wheels, the Wayfarer Class Bs, all of them. They produce 100,000. Okay, that's a big number. You're not going to get people flooding Facebook with praise. You'll get some, don't get me wrong, but you're not going to get 90,000 people or 95,000 people who have bought those 100,000 RVs going to Facebook talking about how great their product is. What you're going to get is the couple of hundred who have problems, and they post those problems on every single RV group that's out there. So it makes the problem magnified. Great example of that is today's announcement with Tiffin being sold to Thor. There's a few Tiffin groups. I looked in one this morning. That post that Thor had bought Tiffin out had already been posted about 6 times in the last hour by different people. So I go to another Tiffin group, and they're all about the same. And in some cases, it's the same person posting it multiple times. And that's what happens, especially when somebody has a problem. They'll post it multiple times. They'll post it through multiple groups. So while one coach may have one problem, that one person with that one coach and one problem post it 20 or 30 times across all different groups. So it gives you the illusion that that coach or that manufacturer or whatever has tons of problems, when really it's just one person with a problem that he's trying to get solved. Now I'm not knocking people who cross-post across boards, because if you have a problem you're trying to get solved, then that's the quickest and easiest way to do it. Hopefully what we're going to see with Tiffin is business as usual. Bob Tiffin deserves a good retirement. He deserves to be able to spend the remaining years he has on this earth, and hopefully there are a lot of them, without having to deal with us. And not to be ugly, but a lot of us are very needy. We buy a new coach, we find a screw laying on the floor after the first time we use it. The first thing we do is call Bob Tiffin. Does that really make sense? Is that really necessary? No. You found a screw on the floor. Call the service department. Say, hey, I found this screw. Any idea what it might be? Bob hires good people. Bob trains great people. There are a lot of people between you and Bob Tiffin that can fix your problem if you allow them. Being a military person, the chain of command has been drilled in my head, ever since I joined the Air Force in 1987. Chain of command. Solve problems at the lowest level. Calling Bob Tiffin is not the lowest level. That's the nuclear option. Work with the dealer. Dealer can't help you out, call Tiffin. Call the service department. If the service department person doesn't help you out, talk to the manager of the service department, and just work your way up. Too many people, even with this, seriously, a lot of people with this, and the rumors have been coming, the rumors have been out there for years that Tiffin has sold out to somebody. Usually it is Thor. People were calling Bob about this. Okay, that's just silly. Don't do that. Okay, first of all, but now that we know that Thor actually did buy Tiffin, there is a non-disclosure agreement that's signed in most cases during the acquisition process or during the discovery process. So neither party can say yes or no that this acquisition is happening or not. So calling Bob, it just takes time out of his day because he's such a great guy. He will call you back. He does call you back, usually the same day, usually within an hour or so. So why are we bothering Bob Tiffin with all this stuff? Because we have woe is me, Tiffin is going downhill because we think that they sold out to somebody. So let's just relax. Let's see where the chips fall, fellow Tiffin owners. This could be a good thing. It could be a bad thing. This actually could be a nothing. This could be, we don't even know that Thor owns Tiffin, other than if we go to Tiffin's website, it may have a little note in the corner that says, you know, Tiffin Motorhomes, a Thor company or something like that. That may be the only way we know that Thor owns Tiffin going in the future. What we don't know is how things are going to fall out 5, 10, 15, 20 years down the road. When they start shutting down Red Bay, Alabama manufacturing plant, then we can have a conversation. Then we know there's problems. I know people are going to be going to social media today too. Well, I just bought a 2021, whatever, you know, Phaeton, bus, whatever, and it had problems, so I knew that Thor was buying them out. No. The people building these coaches haven't changed overnight. The people building these coaches didn't, you know, get the notice that Thor bought out Tiffin and all of a sudden forgot how to build quality coaches. So, Thor bought Tiffin. The world is not ended. We know nothing other than senior management, including Bob, is still in place. And that's key, that's important. How long they stay in place, nobody knows. Hopefully for the duration of our lifetimes. Now, as those senior managers retire or move up or move out, the interesting thing to pay attention to is who replaces them. If Bob actually does retire, and honestly I hope he does, because he deserves it. If Bob retires, who is taking his place? Is it somebody already within the Tiffin corporate family? Or is it somebody from the Thor corporate family? Because if that happens, now we have a discussion point. Now we know that there's some big changes are going to happen if Thor starts putting in their own people to run Tiffin at that level. So until then, my fellow adventure seekers, my fellow Tiffin owners, relax. Let's see where the chips fall. Let's, first of all, celebrate Bob's good fortune. I mean, he's come a long way since he started building motor coaches. And he's still going to be involved on some level today, even if he does retire. I don't think he'll get his fingers out of the company altogether for a while. So let's celebrate Bob and his family's good fortune. You know, they have 300 million reasons to celebrate today. A lot of people are saying he's selling out. You know, if you owned a company and somebody offered you an exorbitant amount of money for it, and you were, you know, in your golden years, wouldn't you take it too? Life is short, folks. Allow the Tiffin family to live their life. You know, a lot of us retired early, and doing the full-time RV life to experience life, to live life. So let's not begrudge others of that same opportunity that we are chasing ourselves. Don't feed the rumor mill. Relax. Tiffin is still in good hands. And go out and enjoy life. See, one thing Thor can definitely bring to the table for Tiffin is buying power. Because they're such a larger corporation. They can buy the things that make an RV in bulk at cheaper prices. So that may help Tiffin be a little bit cheaper. Or they can spend the money they're saving on parts on the labor side and get better build quality. So there are some potential pluses in this acquisition. So keep that in mind, my fellow adventure seekers, my fellow Tiffin owners especially. So thank you guys so much for watching. Stay tuned for more fun stuff from us as we travel across the country and help raise money and awareness for small local veterans charities. God bless, and we'll see you at our next adventure.